Well, good morning. I'm back again. Had a little break. Today we're doing some feeder fishing and we'll do some slider float fishing. But first, let's roll that big sexy intro, eh? Well, that isn't so bad. Just starting to pick up some hybrids now. I've had 4 of them in total. Fishing a 3-foot hook length to a size 12 Guru feeder special on 0.18, I think it's 5-pound fluorocarbon, using a 30-gram window feeder. Just keeping the bait going in nice and consistent. I've also got a float rod set up for slider fishing. I'll run through slider fishing with you guys in a minute. But I realise there's been a bit of a break from me putting videos up. It's pretty simple really. My wife's coming to the end of the pregnancy. So I've been doing husband duties, soon to be father duties, soon to be daddy duties, building cots, that sort of thing. Looking forward to being a dad, as I've mentioned a few times. I just have a load of stuff that needs to be done, which is why the videos haven't been so frequent. Still been fishing, still been doing the angling. I went to Loch McNeen and had 15 minutes of this. I'm not so sure this is fishable. The keep nets in there mashed to shit. My brolly pole snapped and it's getting a little bit squirrely. Every now and then there's a big wave hits the rocks in front of me and sends the tidal wave over me. I think I might have to go to plan B and find somewhere else. Then went to another venue the same day, and it rained that hard that I was soaked. Everything was soaked. Everything was soaked. So that was fun. I had a session on the Bow Island bridges. Now, during the festivals, like the week before, this part of the lock was thrown up weights to like just shy of 30 kilos. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. And I caught this. Everybody else around me bagged up. Caught loads of fish. And the very peg that I fished that day in the festival that happened the week after, it done weights to 30 kilos. So, not sure what I did wrong there, but hey ho. One of my friends, you've seen him on the channel a couple of times, his where I live in Oma, there's a local carp pond. It's owned by one of my friends. So Monday afternoons there's a kind of a knock-up friendly match. So this last 3 Mondays I've competed in that. Now bearing in mind that I don't have any pole to fish it properly. I'm using a roach pole, that's a roach whip even. That's been Frankenstein with a 14-16 elastic. And for every one fish I land I lose 2. Because they just bully me, put me in the weeds. Not much I can do. So I've ordered a new pole. I've ordered a Matrix Torque carp pole. That is 10 meters, 10.5 meters. That's what we're catching. Ten and a half meters, rated to size stupid elastic. You know, and it's basically what I need for the carp ponds. You know, it's not just the one in Oma that I'm intending to fish. There's a place in the south that I'm going to give a go as well. You know, so I've ordered the pole and some top 3s just to get me back in the swing of things. But the first match I finished dead last. With the grand total of 6 pounds. I was a bit disappointed. Second time I fished, I doubled the weight. I finished with over 12. Which I thought was an improvement, and it didn't come last. And last week I finished 3rd, so I'm improving. I'm fishing against guys that are like my friends, you know, so it's not a serious thing. It's just, you know, 10 guys having a laugh, which is good. Found out last week that my wife is going to be induced early. The original due date for the pregnancy was the 4th of July. So there's been some issues with the pregnancy. I'm not going to go into it. You know. But my wife's fine, everything's cool, the baby's fine, my wife's fine. The issue is that the baby it's not really an issue. The baby has been cooked really well and is at a healthy weight, so the doctors don't want to let her go full term. Which is fine. So next week I will be a daddy for sure, because they, you know, once they take a woman in to induce her, you know, that's kind of it. You know, either the induction kind of happens, or the baby comes out through the sunroof. Right, let's see if Mr. Pike can be seen again. I've just had him smash up a hybrid on the feeder. It was literally a foot and a half at the most from my net. Wasn't a big pike. It's about 4 or 5 pounds, just a jack. But if you look over there, you can see some lilies. And all of a sudden the lilies just moved and the thing shot like a dart. So now I have what looks like to be mortally wounded hybrid thrashing about in my keep net. I'm hoping he pulls through so he can be released. But if not, if he dies, then he'll just be used as dead bait come the winter. It won't go to waste. Last time I fished this place, it was loaded with cormorants. Thankfully, there's none of them today.
"20 minutes later."
I've tried to get the slider float out a couple of times, and the 2 fish I've caught have both been smashed with pike. So I'm not putting the slider float in again. The wind's getting up a bit, so I'm just going back to the feeder. I'm catching fairly constantly with the feeder. Just fishing 2 red maggots. Still fishing 3 foot hook length. Joined by a load of guys below me who are fishing for pike, so I don't see any landing nets or hooking mats by indication. That net's pretty warm. If you're going to do pike fishing, Jesus Christ, at least learn how to do it.
2 hours later.
While it's gotten a bit quiet, I'll run through some slider float fishing for you. This is a slider float. These ones are actually really good. They're made by it's a Carbon Magic slider. It is, I can't even pronounce who it's made by. The good thing about them, you can screw the bottom off and attach a heavier or a lighter float depending on what you have rigged up. The one I have on the rod at the minute this is a 12 gram. No, this is an 8 gram one. I have on the antenna float to beat the wind. Now, shot pattern, you'll see there's a little number 4. You have a number 4 up the line, then you have your bulk, then you have your last shot, which is just down below the loop of the the hook length. I have a 12-inch hook length, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but I'm going to try. There's a little bead that runs on the line. That's what runs up to the stop knot to stop your float running through your stop knot. Now, because I'm using a 12-inch hook length, I've set the depth of the float in front of me so that 6 inches of this float is going to be on the ground, so that you can throw ground bait over the top of it, and the float's going to sit there and do its own thing, but you basically want the float, the hook on the deck. With this type of float fishing, you're not really fishing off the bottom. You're either fishing on the bottom, which is where the bait is just touching the bottom, or you're fishing what's called over depth, which is where your float, say it's 10 foot deep, well, then you'd have your stop knot set at 10 foot 6, so that it's 6 inches on the ground. That gives the fish on the ground plenty of time to grub around and pick up your bait. Bites with a slider float, you can't miss them. The float usually stands up. You know, as soon as the float's set, you only have about that much of it out the water. You'd have like this much out of the water, so when there's a bite, the float tends to lift, because the fish has picked up the bait and came off the bottom and lifted the bait up, or the float just rips away underneath it. It's a beautiful way to fish, and if the wind calms down, then I get more of it done in front of me. But usually when I've had the 2 fish that I've had in it today, the pike have smashed me in both of them, so I'm a bit concerned about pulling fish through these. I'm sitting watching through the lilies, I'm sitting watching fish, just cruising through the lilies. So there's plenty of fish, but I'm not wanting to attract a load of pike into my swim. Not sure what I just had, but it was pretty decent. That's all the hook I got left. It snapped off the hook. So I don't know what I had, but the hook broke. Oh, the holiday hooligans have left. Thankfully, they caught fuck all. They weren't anglers. They were a bunch of people that's down staying somewhere local and had sea fishing gear, and thought, you know what, let's come and do some pike angling because it's Loch Erne. I suppose the only saving grace was they actually had wire traces, but they caught nothing, so no crisis. No pike had to be rescued. It's been very slow since they arrived. They definitely enjoyed casting dead baits. You know, I'm fishing like directly in front of me. You know, there's a tree that's right smack in line with my seat box, and I'm casting overhead right smack in line with my seat box. So I know that I'm fishing smack in front of me. So when there's a big fucking half mackerel lands this far from where I'm casting, it's a safe assumption that they're not fishing where they're supposed to be. And instead of winding it in, apologising for trying to fish on top of me, the guy just thought, I'll just leave it there. Humans are strange. And that wasn't the only foul up of the day. A can of juice burst in the back of a hold all here. So bait tins attachments, feeders, spare reel, all covered in a tin of Monster. By the time I found it, everything was swimming in it and it was all sticking to it, so I'm going to have to clean that before I go home. I have everything steeping in a bucket of water here. Just kind of wanting to get everything clean before it gets put back away, because nothing will destroy your fishing gear quicker than, you know, fizzy juice. Oh, one of the last occasions I was out fishing, I got ate by mozzies or midges all down. They managed to get through a t-shirt, salopettes, jogging bottoms, to bite my shins and my forearms and the back of my neck. So that was Monday, the last Monday, where I caught this carp. It was a good day, apart from the last 3 hours was just crippling, because there was no wind and the midges just sat on top of you. And I sprayed with Boots, DEET spray, bug spray, didn't make a damn bit of difference. I have jungle formula, I have Boots stuff, didn't make a damn bit of difference. The only thing that I can think of trying for summer fishing is doing what I used to do when I was in the military. Get a big barrel, put all your clothes in the barrel, fill the barrel up with boiling water, and add the powdered sachets of pure DEET, and let your clothes steep in it for a couple of days, and then hang it up and dry it. Nothing comes near you. That worked in Afghanistan and Iraq. Nothing came near you bug-wise. But I tended to get like a rash under my armpits when I sweated because of the clothes. Oh well. Can't win them all, I guess. Oh. So, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to pack everything up, clean this gear, show you what I've caught. I don't think I've got very much. And then take a slow drive home for pizza and cold beer. It just started to spit with rain there, so I didn't bother taking a video of the 11 hybrids that I caught. I have a photograph. See it now? All in all, it wasn't a bad day. It wasn't a good day, but it's better than sitting at home and catching nothing. So, back down the road to Oma. I'm not sure if you can see behind me, but I have a rod tube, a big cardboard postal tube in the van. I'm sending back one of my Dave Lum rods. I noticed that something was wrong with the butt eye. I've no idea how the butt eye was the way it is. So I spoke to Dave and he goes, look, he goes, just post it back to me, I'll sort it all out, and that'll be it. So you can't do better than that. He said he would cover the postage, fix the rod and send it back to me. So Dave Lum Pike angling rods, best in the world, really are the best in the world. I have no regrets buying the rods that I got from Dave. I have the Bait Blaster 350s, which is a 12 foot, 3.5 test pike rod. Dave sells them in England for like a heavier rod, like a distance rod in England. But here in Northern Ireland, and fishing in the Republic of Ireland, they're just a cracking pike rod. You know, they're just a really, really good pike rod. They are more than capable of throwing the big baits as well as the little baits and big leads. I have a fly, I have to get rid of it. There we go. Bye-bye fly. And then I bought their big brother, the D3s. D3s are a 13-foot, 4-pound test monster that I use for long distance fishing. Fishing places where I drop baits off with the bait boat, or, you know, even drifter float fishing. They are awesome, awesome rods as well. And because they're a custom rod, you know, you could say to Dave that you want your own little decals on them and stuff like that there. You want them styled to how you want them, and he'll make them. You know, the basic rod is awesome in itself, but then to have it, like I went with the full cork handles. I'm a bit old school, so I like the full cork handles and little tiny special touches. So I've got that to do this week. This week's going to be busy. This week the wife gets brought into the hospital to be induced. So this week I'm going to be a daddy. Woohoo! Which is awesome. Can't wait. So now I'm on the way home to have a pizza and a cold beer. I think I'm going to go for a spicy meat feast. Something that'll kick the arse out of it. It's a pizza, it has to be a meat feast. You know, it doesn't have pineapple. If you're putting pineapple on a pizza, you're a wrong'un. As we come through Balik, I have to slow down to 30 miles an hour because there's a speed trap. The VS and I are hiding just around the corner. I have a friend that's just texted me for a left. Watch going through Ballinamec, there's a speed trap. And there it is. Not that you should be speeding through a small town anyway. But apparently they've been extra keen stopping. There's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and they've been stopping people, you know, doing like 35, 40. And giving them the old 3 points and a fine. So, if you're travelling around County Fermanagh, be aware the traffic police at the minute they are looking to boost up their traffic stop numbers or speeding numbers. And if you don't believe me, go and look at their social media accounts, their Facebook accounts. Because they love to post on their social media that they'll be catching speeding people. Not so good at catching, you know, like drug dealers or criminals or gangsters or terrorists. Excellent at catching, you know, the motorists going 5 miles an hour too fast. So, I'm back. Whether or not I can do lots more videos in the very near future is another story. I will keep trying to get the content out. You know, I didn't post anything for the time I was away because where I was fishing it wasn't great. And when I was doing the matches, I wanted to really kind of switch on and concentrate. And it's a bit of a bitch to try and concentrate, fuck about with the camera and talk to you guys and trying to fish a match. So I have another one on Monday. go up on it. And again, I'm looking forward to it. My new pole doesn't arrive until middle of July. It's out of stock until mid-July. So the 10.5 meter matrix torque, I had to go on a 6 meter version of it, and it was nice and crisp, nice and light, but it holds elastics that you can bungee cord with. So I got it, I got 4 top 3s, so I'll be able to fit one of them as a pole kit, and have the other 3 as match kits. When I was match fishing, I only really did have 3 poles, 3 match top 3s anyway, because I only really fed 3 swims. If it was carp fishing on a carp match, you know, you fished 3 areas because you didn't want to throw bait around the whole peg. So you fished a margin swim, then you fished maybe to an island, and then you fished maybe middle distance in open water. But it's the same for the private fishery I'm at the minute. It's about 9 meters to the island. The bottom couple of pegs, it's a bit further to the island. It's maybe 11 meters, maybe 12. But you can fish pretty much the whole little pond. There's 2 little ponds. You can fish the 2 little ponds with a 10.5 meter pole. And this venue has some weeds, so you tend to fish against the weed bank. But again, 4 top 3s, ample enough for a pole. You know, I'm not going to be doing serious matches again. I'm just going to be messing around, having a laugh. I will go down and do some days fishing on some of the other little carp ponds that's around Northern Ireland, and maybe even in the south. There's a couple of guys in the south that own fisheries, and they've reached out to me to kind of say, you know, do you want to come down here and fish? And you know, the first thing I always ask is, you know, how much is the day ticket to fish it, and you know, the costs, and do I have to use fishery pellet and all that sort of stuff. But I'd quite happily go to people's fishery and have a go at it, you know, for a laugh. You know, again, anywhere that I go, these guys, you know, I've already arranged that. There's a couple of them. It's a day ticket fishery. You know, I think it's like €8 a day to fish one of these places. 8 or 10 euros. So for a day's fishing, that's not so bad. Carp to mid doubles on the pole. It'll be good for a laugh. I just have to retrofit a mount for a pole that I can strap a small GoPro to. I'm not sure how that would work, but I'm sure we can give it a go. Anyway, I want to say thank you to everyone that's reached out this last little while and you know, checked that I haven't been abducted by rock and roll loving aliens. You know, I'm good, I'm all good. I'm just kind of doing the husband and father thing, or future father. So thanks to everyone that's reached out to me and sent me messages, and thanks to everyone that's reached out and said, you know, congratulations with the baby and I hope everything goes well and all that sort of stuff. And again, massive thanks, massive thank you to everyone that's reached out and said best wishes to Cecil. Cecil's in better strengths. He is fishing. On the last Monday, he fished part of the match. He didn't fish all of the match. He fished a part of it. So that's good. He looked a bit healthier. The chemo cycles are going well. The medics are very happy with him. I mean, he seems upbeat. So it's all many thanks to you guys out there for sending positive vibes and prayers and best wishes. A fella in Castledurg sent him, you know, a get well card, and it's like that kind of blew the poor fella away. He kind of didn't know what way to look for that one. So it's times like this it makes you kind of think that, you know, there's more there's more that holds us together as a species than what there is divides us. You know, we're quite happy to rip chunks out of each other and slag each other off, and I'm sometimes the worst for it as well, you know, so I don't suffer fools at all. So when I'm, you know, I can be a little bit harsh on people, but when I see people that, you know, guys from like England and Wales and Scotland, you know, guys from all over Ireland reaching out to kind of send, you know, a man that's having a bit of a rough time for it at the minute the best wishes, that's awesome. It restores your faith in humanity a little bit. So from chatting to Cecil, his chemo cycles are going well, and he sends his best regards to everyone that's watching. I'm going to include Cecil's social media page, his fishing page, in the description below. If you could go and give him some love, that would be much appreciated. But apart from that, I've just not got much left to do here. I'm going to drive through Enniskillen and get down the main road to Omagh, and then it is pizza and cold beer time. Gotta love pizza and cold beer. So thank you to everyone that's watching, liking, and doing all that sort of stuff. Again, I do try and get back to all the comments, but things are kind of busy at the minute with life outside of the angling thing. But you know, many thanks to all of the guys that's kind of liking, sharing, subscribing the videos, all the usual stuff. So until the next time, troops, tight lines.